Okay, so we've got this week's sneak peek session, and we're going to be showing a couple of things, not saying what they are specifically yet, but we're going to open with Juice with a little update on Tendril, and then we're going to show something else.
Pricing, Andy. Pricing.
I think that. Sorry, what's that?
Primary pricing. I believe we've got the.
Oh yeah. That kind of runs out in 48 hours. Is the update reduced pricing for getting your updates? Give me a second. I should put my glasses on, that way I can read it. Yeah. So the basic pre-order pricing, 48 hours. That sort of ends, and then it goes back to standard pricing for upgrades. So if you want to get those in, obviously at the cheaper price, it's worth doing, but make sure you do it within the next 48 hours. Okay. I think that's good.
That's it.
We're kind of ready to go. Juice, do you want to take over the screen and you start, my friend, and we'll go from there?
I will sure try. Big Ed, call out here if you could turn off your camera, please, while I find the share button. Okay, sharing screens. We good? We seeing?
Yeah, you seeing that?
Yep.
All right. One thing I wanted to show. This isn't necessarily Tendril. This is part of the ProGeo that we've had some advancements on. So let me find our procedural geometry. Pop this open. Excuse me. And get just a little bit lined up. Wanted to show off some more of the branch has been advanced a little bit. So wanted to show what we've added there. So we're going to plug our result into geometry and the result into procedural. And now we have our branch started. So this is where we were last time. Everyone remembers this. And we've added a little bit here. So let's talk about it. I'm going to come over here, and we have a new tab called Mesh. So we can actually turn this into geometry with number of sides. We increase our branch count and the like here, adjusting, rotations and everything that we had before. But now we can actually create geometry. This is actually being meshed. Meshed is a mesh.
Meshed.
Mesh.
It's being mushed.
Mush mesh. So one of the questions that I had for our guys when we after we demoed it, of course, as we're moving into alpha and moving into beta and everything like this, of course, as you start using these tools, things start coming up. How can we do X? How can we do Y? Can we do Z? Chuck Baker had a great feature, a great thing about features on his signature file for the forum for years, which was the better the feature, the more feature requests it'll generate. And this has certainly been one of those. So I asked about the positions because we can add nulls to control these two positions of where the start and end so that we can control that. I wanted to have more controls over it. And my request was granted. I'm going to show you here. What I'm going to do is let me pull this up and let me pull in spline geometry. And as we can see here, I've got my handles. Currently, my spline geometry is giving me points, which is perfect what we want. We plug that in, and now I have my spline controlling branch. Quick right click, and I can add knots to this and control these. And I see turbulence. I can actually, for the branching, I can plug in noise into branching. And add that in there as well to give some wiggle and some move and some other things. Also, just as a reminder on this, these points I can actually attach to nulls. So I can animate these over time by I actually created a little thing here, a little preset, loving presets. So pull in these point handles. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I only need 5 of these. And I can plug this result into profile. I'm sorry, into geometry. Let me add a null. Alpha. It's alpha. It's like, you did too many things too quick. Let me think about it. There's no nulls for me to link up to. Yep. That's a lock.
No,
That's a lock.
That's a feature.
1 second.
No.
Yeah.
It's alpha, remember? So this is all early days.
So I put the elevator music on, Juice.
Yep. 1 second here. This is a big one, actually. All right. Coming back. We'll go ahead and jump next to what I wanted to show off or to share. One of the things here is, there we go, we're back. I'm going to, I want to show, because this is something that was there, but I didn't quite understand it. Again, learning new tools. I'm going to drop in a ground plane. And this is our weight painter tool. So I'm going to come here to, let's see, I put it under modify, weight brush. So things that I quickly learned, right mouse button does me a nice window select. I'm going to pull this up to about 60. And let me turn on my overlay. Create a new map. Sure. Under my under my paint mode, I've got different gradient controls. So gradient paint V, and I don't know, it's real hard. It's small on my screen, so it's probably small on yours. This little icon up here is now showing me that the 100% is on the left and the blue is on the right. So if I hit paint, I quickly and easily draw and paint a gradient going that direction. Gradient paint H, again, will be bottom to top. V2, and of course these currently are placeholder names, but this is a in the middle is 100% and fades off either direction. And then we have obviously the vertical, same kind of deal. Now, one thing to bear in mind, and this is kind of an interesting thing that I really like about this. Let me clear my map. Clear the maps. Yes, thank you. If I just have, I'm going to hold down Control and deselect. If I just have partial selected and do this, then it reads the bounds of where I have selected. This actually comes in kind of fun when you start looking at radial, which allows me to, this is now doing an ellipse because of the dimensions of my selection. This this built-in ability is really nice and fast for creating soft fall-offs, especially for working with, well, what people typically work with weight maps, which is with bones, right? Bones and rigging.
I suppose, yeah. Bones has got to be one of its main areas, isn't it? I think.
Oh, absolutely. Let me stop sharing because, Andy, you're more the animator here. You've done a lot of character work, character animation. So dealing with bones and weight maps, you kind of get involved in.
Yeah, I suppose if we were to get the best use out of that, we'd probably need a new improved rigging system. I would think. Would you not, my friend?
Well, I mean,
I-
I would think so. Now, I know a lot of people, a lot of good animators just aren't good at rigging. That
I can't rig this. I've never rigged. I've always had other people rig for me because it's always so difficult. So
I was
I've
a,
never really got my head around it.
I was an animation technical director on Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. So
Yeah.
I rigged tons of characters. I have rigged tons of paper. I have rigged, so many different things for Jimmy. The car, the dog, Goddard, all of the characters, the papers, anything that a character worked on.
Yeah.
So do we have something in mind?
Well, I, you know, a year ago we had a chat with a guy named Craig, and a really, really, really unbelievably talented guy. And part of the reason we chatted with Craig was we were looking for. I mean, I'd been talking to Elmar about, we need a new rigging system. We need something that's fast. We want something that can finally do 2 or 3 characters, 4 or 5 characters on screen at the same time. So you can do action sequences in character animation. We need to have a system that actually is fairly, a little bit automated, makes life really simple, that can do quadrupeds, can do, well, more than that. If you want to have, 6, 8 legs, whatever, or 4 arms and 2 legs, or something that can do anything like that really simply in one system. And so we contacted Craig, and Craig very kindly started working on a new version of the software that he created, which is Rigit. And so he kind of created that program. It was still a little bit buggy, had a few things with it, and obviously when Lightwave was dying, it kind of petered out. But for the last year, he has been working on a version for us, and we bought it from him. Who knew? And we obviously have put it into Lightwave, and today we're going to show it. So we're going to start off by showing a bit of the weight painting. Actually, we're doing this from a complete novice's point of view. So if I share my screen, let me just share that. There we go. Okay. Oh, blimey. I want people to see that. Will my screen go up a bit higher? Yeah, well, good. Okay. So hopefully that's big enough. I need to get it down so there's a bit of text at the top of the screen which will get in my way. So okay, so let's just talk you through this. I'm turning off my camera. Hopefully you can still see my screen. Can you see it okay, Juice?
Yes, can still see your screen.
Okay, so let's give a bit of background to this. We're gonna take you through, for those people who've never used Rigit before, we're going to take you through it, and we're also going to take you through just a little bit of how you set it up from weight painting right the way through. So I am not by any stretch the greatest character animation in the world. I've done character animation, but not for many years. And certainly not for probably 7, 8, 9 years, I would say, a minimum. And I've never rigged before, and I've never even done the weight painting before last week. So we basically are going to try to run through that, but I'm doing it with a character that was created for something I was working on probably 10 years, 12 years ago that didn't come off. And it was a little sugar cube character that was in a film which didn't end up happening, called The Kitchen Games. So it's a very, very simple character, and part of the reason I chose this was because it was the fastest way of showing you without it taking 4 or 5 hours. So basically this character is very, very simple. It's got little add-on feet, separated hands. The arms are just basically little sticks that go into the body, as are the legs. But still, to rig that, it's going to require all of that to be weight painted. So there we click on the LW rig it. We've got the weight brush. So when I have the body constructed, I can call up the weight brush and start going through the elements of the body and now weight painting that. So I'm going to literally do all of this. I want to just show you how easy it is to do. So if I click on some points here, I can use the expand and contract to enlarge that and shrink that up. I can also use obviously the bracket keys on my keyboard. So if we paint that, actually let's turn that up so you can see it. So you can see we've just painted that white. I'm going to unhighlight. That's basically control right mouse click just to unhighlight and go then to the next part. So we're going to do the left, expand that out there. Going to just paint it. That's done. I'm going to do the same with the glove. I'm going to do something more intricate on the hand in a minute, but for now I just want to base paint. Well, actually let's go to the hand first. Sorry, that's my mistake. Let's paint that. Done. And then let's go to the intricacies of the hand. So let's look at the top of the hand. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I've got an index finger here, and I've got a mitten and a thumb, and obviously I've done at the moment the whole hand. Okay, so I want to just do the index finger. So let me just highlight those points, expand that out. So I've got a little bit beyond what I ideally want. So let me just click Control, unhighlight those points. I don't want these points done. Probably there. Be quite happy with that. That's good. So now I'm going to paint that. And you can see automatically it's doing a graduation into the other weight paint. All right. So again, I'm obviously basing this on just me doing this. There are going to be loads of you out there who have significantly more experience than I do for rigging, but this seemed to work for me, and I've obviously loved working with this quickly. So there's our weight paint. You can see the ones that are highlighted there are ones already done. I don't want that, and that. I'm happy with that. So let's do, sorry, I should have mittened it first of all. There's the mitten, paint it. Again, you can see the gradient. That goes, actually, from there you can see the underside of that. So you've got the graduation into the other weight map, which is great. So let's go to thumb. Let me just unhighlight those first and do exactly the same. Expand this out. And I'm going to just unhighlight some of these. And then paint. And then again, you can see that sort of the graduation going into the rest of the hand. So really pretty easy. So let's go to the next thing, left leg. So I've got a point highlighted already. That's perfectly okay. Let's expand that up. Let's go paint, unhighlight that. Then we're on to the right arm. So I'm doing this, the reason I've elected to do this, the whole of it, is I wanted to show you how easy it is. And I want to show you how efficient this can be. And then if you've never done it before, you are going to be able to do it. You just need to be able to create a basic character, something like this. In fact, I'm pretty certain we could probably give the sugar cube away at some point to practice on. But then once you've done that, you're going to want to do more complicated characters. But it just makes it. Sorry, Bud?
We already have. The Sugar Cube's been in Lightwave content since 2011.
Yeah, this is a slightly newer one, so I'd recommend. I mean, I would say that I prefer. I think the other one had the smaller hands, which I like this one particularly. But whether it be the old one or this one, all good. So okay, so let me just then do the weight painting again on this hand. So let's move that over here. Let's zoom that over. Get that round. Yeah, I can see enough of that to do it. So basically we go index again. So expand that out. Well, that's pretty close actually. Might want to go a little higher. Let's go around, zoom that out a little bit. Oh, I don't know what that was. Anyway, so let's paint that. Hold up. You all still there?
I am.
We certainly are.
No, it just
Pins
went
in the
very
dark.
quiet. I couldn't even hear people breathing, and I was a little bit scared that I was on my own. Is everybody switched off already? That's okay. So let's mitten, paint that. Lovely. Let's do the thumb.
And of course, one of the takeaways on what's happening right here is the ability to do all of this in layout.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
this has typically been a workflow in Modeler, and hoping to get it to go through the hub into layout if you were trying to adjust something.
You know, the other important thing I think is when you're doing this stuff, quite often you do want to go back and just adjust a weight map. So, you know, something may be pulling on something, or something may not be doing something quite right. This gives you the ability, because you're in the layout, just to quickly call up the weight paint, adjust it as you need to. You know, great, and you know, makes it very, very simple to go in and adjust. So okay, so I think I've done the whole of that, so we're good. We now have done our weight painting, so that's our weight painting part. So I've obviously set this object up, haven't particularly set it up, and if I did more time I should have flattened out the hands a bit more, but part of the reason why you know, this is inexperience of someone who hasn't done this a whole lot or ever until last week. So again, I'm pretty certain that you guys will be able to do better than this, and will be able to utilize this significantly more. So there's our basic weight painting is done. We call up our bodybuilder. I'm going to name the character, so let's go sugar cube. Let's go. What's the day's date? What's the day's date? It's the 1st. Okay, there we go. So and let's just get that going. So that now basically confirms that the base of the rig is going to be where the base of the actual character is. Okay, I now create the rig. And it creates the rig for us. So in a few seconds, you'll see that. There we go. And I've got to obviously resize that. A couple of other things while we're here. You can obviously have that as quadrupeds, there's avians, there's theropods, sauropods, you know, numerous other setups you can have as standard. But it is actually quite easy to go in and customize the rigs. You can add an arm, you can add a leg, you can add digits, you know, you can mess with it, and it's really, really robust. So makes it very, very simple to sort of adjust and you know, get going with. So if I just size this rig down, so I'm not worried about this being mega accurate. I'm going to base it where I want the knees roughly, and then I'll adjust everything else as we go. So let's go and start messing with this. So as I click on one part of this, it will adjust automatically on the other side. Okay, so as I drag this down, actually I'm going to just change my zoom in factor and pull myself back out. So it's just a bit too fast from there. There we go. So let's just drag that into position. I want a little higher than that. So I want that just about there. Put it in the center of the leg. Happy with that. Let's put the knee in place. Drag that into position. Check that from the side. There we go. That's now done. Put our ankle a little higher. A bit further over there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now, obviously, I'm doing this fairly rushed. I think when I first did it, I spent quite a bit of time trying to get these 100% where I want them. This is, for now, this is not mega important. I mean, really, here what I'm trying to do is get a situation whereby we can, you know, just get something, you know, basically where we want it to be. And oops, sorry, let's drag that around. I'm on the wrong bit. There we go. Move that out. drag that down to the side. A little bit lower. It's fine. Okay, so let's do the arms. So I click on my shoulder joint, and bear in mind I've never done this before, ever. And it literally, I know those who are very experienced riggers will have a better way of working, and I'm pretty certain there'll be videos up there showing how well they can do it as opposed to how well I'm about to do it. But it is so easy to move everything around and place it. It's absolutely easy to sort of just shift things around as you wish. Let's get that right in the center of that there. Check it from the other angle. Do it lowering that a little bit. That's good. Actually, my shoulder's probably a little bit high. So let's lower that and then raise that elbow up just a little bit. And then we go on to the wrist. So I'm just going to center that. So be happy with that. I'm going to size this up a little bit just to make it a little easier to see this part. Very, by the way, very forgiving. As you're doing this stuff, it's really simple to make this work and adjust and delete stuff that you don't want to have. So I'll do that in a few seconds. So let me first of all get this knuckle roughly where I want it and drag that one. Actually, take that one forward and rotate that knuckle. So
one of the things that I was happiest when I discovered that you can always hit that rig fix button there in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
get back to this setup mode to make adjustments.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's so easy to mess with. Let me just I'm going to lower that a little bit. Make sure I've got the right one highlighted. I have. So I get a little bit close to the center line. Up a little bit. Oh, that knuckle just a little bit. Okay, so we've done our first finger. I don't want the next one. Whoops. So I just that's all right. Let's get back over here. Zoom in a little bit more. So this knuckle I don't want. So I'm just going to hit the minus key and delete all, and then do the same on that one. Obviously, again, doesn't matter necessarily if this is the order you want to do it. It works for me this way. You might want to do it a different way entirely. But it does strike me that if I'm a novice and have never rigged before and I can do it, you guys who've got experience with this are going to love this and have so much more fun, playing with this over what we currently are using and how we currently do things. So let's get that roughly in place. You get the idea, though. It's basically very simple, very easy to adjust, and really flexible to use. Again, it's centered. Actually, I'm reasonably happy with that. A little bit low. Oh no, I need to lower that. Let's take that one. Raise that up a little bit. The whole of the finger rig's going to go a little high now. So I'll need to adjust that. Drop that down. Drop that one down. So it's good. We're just finished with this thumb. So remember, it's mirroring everything I'm doing on the other side. It is mirroring here. So basically it's doing the other hand automatically. So you're doing this once, ideally well, and then basically you're sort of good to go with both hands. It's a little bit higher. Second. Kind of. I'm happy with that, actually. Yeah, I'll probably do what I need it to do. So there is our rig setup. Obviously, I would, if you were doing this, spend significant amount, then would click on is the create rig. So I'm going to load up another scene where I've spent a bit more time, and I just wanted to show you how easy it is moving those bones around and how easy it is to do that, and deleting bits of this, like I deleted the two sets of digits on each, effectively on both hands. It's easy to do, and you can see that's done across the whole side. So let me load up one where I have spent a little bit more time on it. So basically, this is actually the same as the setup we've got there. But what I've done here is I haven't got the eyes in there yet, and it's basically just the setup for setting this up for basic for setting up now to make into a full rig. So obviously I had the eyes on the other one. They aren't, I want them to be controlled separately. So from my point of view, I basically have taken them out of this at this stage, and we'll add them again later on. So we now go back to our rigget. We're happy again. It's exactly the same as last time, just I've spent a little bit more time on it, making sure everything's where I want it to be. So I now go back to the bodybuilder, and I now go, let's go rig fit. Oh, is that way around? Yeah, I think it is, yeah. There we go. Not done yet, it's still doing something. There we go. Right, okay. So now we've got our rig is basically complete. So we've got, let's click on one of those. We've got our leg movement all set up. We've got our body, rotate. So we can now move and do those things. I've got the ability to, adjust how I now have the arms set up before I start animating. So I can, let's do that. And probably tucking in some of those.
No, I'm
Have
hearing
I frozen?
him.
I hear him,
I'm hearing him, but I don't know that this is. Oh, there it caught up.
Yeah, now it's catching up.
Have you caught up, guys?
Yeah, it
A
looks
little
like
bit.
he's doing the wobble.
He's
Dance.
wobbling. Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't matter about my camera. I can. Shall I turn that
Yeah.
off?
Your camera is off,
Well,
Andy.
your camera is off.
Oh yeah, it is off. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Try to move him. See what we got.
Yeah. Let me just zoom into the hands to see where I'm actually going. So.
Yeah, we haven't caught up.
Yeah, your internet's being crappy, Andy.
Oh,
like-
I'm sorry.
We're like at a 1 frame every 10 minutes.
You need the hamsters to start spinning the wheel
man.
quicker.
Well, guys, shall I go out
Yeah.
and come back in?
Yeah.
Unshare. Yeah, unshare and then reshare maybe. Because it just now caught up. I just now got a frame
Okay.
where we're zoomed in on the hand.
I've unshared.
Okay. Hurry up and share again because Ben's full screen. Hurry up and
So-
share again. Ben's full screen.
So my joker is smoothed out. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me go out. Let me go out, and I'll come back in and see if I get a better signal.
Better
Okay.
connect.
Yeah. I'll pop out. I'll pop back in. Okay. Give me a second.
So Elmar, 3 priests and a rabbi walk into a bar. Okay, back but muted. We can fix that.
Sorry. Yeah. Better or worse?
Okay, good. I mean, seeing so
We'll see.
Okay. Let's share the screen again.
no camera share screen. Let's see what we got.
Maybe you should
Good?
just have your phone, Andy.
So maybe. Sorry, Ben.
Maybe you should tether your phone to your computer for better access.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. Okay, so guys, can you see where I'm at or
Yes.
not?
I see your cursor
Yep, you
moving,
can
and I see
move
you
the fingers.
moving fingers.
Oh, okay, good. Good. Okay. So all I'm doing here is just tucking the hands in. So it's exactly where we left off. So hopefully you guys have all seen the first bit of that. Let's get that down there. Okay. Roughly, let's do that one.
Okay.
Do the same with that.
It's freezing for you, isn't it, Juice?
You good? Still got me?
It's a real chunky. I mean, I just saw the arm move. Oh, there I see his cursor. He's okay. It's good. It's good.
We will be
It's
doing
good?
a proper demo,
Okay.
guys, everyone on the call, where
No.
you can actually see it in proper time.
Yeah.
Andy,
It's okay. Let's. I'll cut. Stop, Ben. Just chill out. All good. Let me just load up the next part of it, just so that we can sort of, you've seen it's working fundamentally. Okay, guys. This bit is just now where I basically set up the basic pose and I've set up the character. Can you see that now, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So we're not doing anything as complicated now, but this is just really the final part of it. So I've now rigged it. I've turned off everything I don't want to see, which is very easy to do. I can at this stage also change the subdivision of it. So at the moment that subdivision is at 0. So let's put in 3. So now we've got it fully subdivided. It makes no difference whether you're doing that. The rig still, obviously, all the weight map and stuff works perfectly. The only thing I've done here, which I've gone on to do, is I've limited the movement for the character so it doesn't go beyond certain points, so that it doesn't go through the legs, etc. So likewise, if I pull it up, it now stops at the floor. You see the feet are locked to the floor, goes up and down really easily. And likewise with the feet, as I lift them up, I've locked it so it doesn't go below on the floor or too high and go through the body. So they're the primary things I've done with it. On the eyes, for this kind of character, it's very simple. All I've done here is I've added a stretch to the eyes so I can get a very simple blink. Okay, so that enables me to make this very easy to animate, super fast to animate. And so after this stage of setup, I then animated I think it's probably about 20-second little animation over the space of 3 hours earlier on this week. So let me just show you that. So and this is the first time I've animated anything for probably between 7 and 10 years. And what we've got here is the sugar cube. It's on a basic floor, and I've just animated him doing jumps and twists and rotates. Oh, there's something which I should just quickly point out. I love this. With the floor, I'm able to rotate, obviously, the whole character. I'm also able to lift it up and then rotate that round, which sounds dumb. Let's turn those axes on, but it means I can basically rotate the character in any direction, which is great if you're trying to do a backflip or something along those lines. You're not going to get gimbal lock. All right, so that's part of the reason I absolutely love that capability with it. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be for, but I've certainly found that it got me out of a couple of holes this week, and again made it very, very easy. So I animated this. This is the little sugar cube. Sort of, actually I'll run it for you and then I'll show you a render of it. So there is something a little unsightly at the end. I don't know why I put it in. It just made me laugh.
Because you're a child.
Because
you're a child at heart, and it pooed.
It's poo. It's sugar cube poo. Does come out his bum.
It's at least
But
brown,
it's brown
sugar, right?
It's organic,
Yeah,
though.
brown sugar, man. It's nothing wrong with that. That's healthy and good for you. So just a couple other things. Just wanted to show this the last bit, and then we're kind of done. So there's a little mistake I made there with the foot. You see the foot goes slightly through the floor, and it's just to show you with this. By the way, we did actually test this also during the week with 7 characters, and you're still able to animate them, right? So the only reason I'm mentioning that, you probably will have more complicated rigs than this on other characters, but it basically means you really will be able to animate action sequences and multiple character bits of animation easily with this. So let's go and find the offending keyframe. It's that one. I'm just going to lift his foot up just to correct that, and then just rub that back through. There we go. So that's doing what I want it to do. And then over here, I got a little error with the hands and with the poo-poo. So let me go to the let's go and correct the poo. Let's just do it. So I animated the end position of the letters by hand. Although they're dropped using bullet, I then hand animated so they ended more or less where I want them to end. And I hand animated the poo because you should. I don't know why I did that, but here we go. Here's the right. Okay, so that's obviously falling off at a curve. If you notice that, totally wrong. Unless it was magic poo, it wouldn't do that. So let's go and move these. I'm going to move that over there a little bit. Go over there, straighten that line up, and then do the same with that. So let's see if that works. It goes down and it slides into position. Oh dear. There we
Disgusting,
go.
Andy.
And last but not least, I do a little thumbs up at the end, and my hands are not quite as curved over as I would like in retrospect. So let's just quickly, oops, wrong ones. There's those ones. Just want to rotate those a bit more into a tucked position. Same with that. Oh, actually, being stupid. Do it there. Pick up that keyframe. So now, yeah, there we go. Yeah, but a bit slow, so move that back a bit. Yeah, it's good enough. Can do the same over here. So I've got that knuckle position there. Tuck that in. There it's there. Just tuck that in a little bit more, and then we're done. So I basically, oh, actually, you know what? There's one more thing. So the eyes are expanding a little bit. So let's just quickly do those two. Click on that. Got my graph editor. Yeah, okay. So I just need to put these on linear, and it will stop them expanding beyond their normal size. That's just lazy animation on my part. So now they're blinking. All good. Does his little poo-poo. That's my first animation using Rigit, and that's all literally 3 hours of animation this week. And the original rig I did, I think, I spent about an hour and a bit on it. There was, you're learning, so it's a little slower, but it literally, I cannot tell you, from a person who doesn't rig and hates the idea of rigging, it's made my life so simple to be able to rig it, animate it, go back and rechange the rig if I need to, add to the rig, alter the rig, delete stuff from the rig, whatever you need to do, and then animate with it. It's super fast and easy to animate with, and I think, and this is probably, I mean, I know it's a big old thing to say, but when we were doing the animated movie, we used Messiah, and then in later years we used Maya, and then we'd import the animation into Lightwave, really because the rigging in Lightwave was so poor. This is the first time I think the rigging is top class. I mean, it's properly good character rigging, and I think Craig has done us proud. He's updated it beautifully. It's really rock solid. But on top of that, of course, he's given us the code and enabled us to hopefully we'll take it further over the next few years and better do even more with it. So it's been an absolute pleasure trying this out and using this. And obviously this was one of the main reasons why we wanted to get the weight brush done, was so that we could do the weight brushing and the rigging all in the layout and animate with it super fast, go back and adjust the rig if you need to, all those sort of things that you need to do when you're character animating. Let me show you then now an animated version of it. Let's shrink that down. Oh, blimey, I shouldn't have shown that. Oh, yeah, let's oh, yeah. So I'm trying to mute it. Give me a second and stop it. Let's get that out the screen. Yeah, that shouldn't be there. My apologies. Absolutely no one. Just purge your brains from seeing that, if you wouldn't mind. Just a terrible,
Andy,
terrible
do we
thing.
need to have a confessional?
Okay, I need to turn my camera on. Okay, forgive me, Father Deuce, for I have sinned. I have shown another feature that I shouldn't have shown, and I don't know what you do next. Not being mega religious.
I have no clue. I just use this to get girls.
But no, but yep. Okay, thank you for that, though, Juice. If you could do that now every time I do something like that, my friend.
Yep.
Father Juice, it will absolve my sins. And yeah, our apologies for showing you that. Hope none of you saw it. Anyway, let's show you the finished animation here.
And we'll make this available. We can put this up on YouTube as well.
Yeah, we'll put it up there. You probably, I don't know if you can hear the sound across on Teams, can you?
I'm hearing a blinking. Yeah.
If you share,
yeah, you have to share with Sam, but don't worry about it, Andy, because it's your internet's still a little bit cruddy. No, we can see it, just can't hear it, but that's no problem. We can, when we release the video.
Okay. So I just share it one more time. Just unshare what I'm sharing, but then share it again.
Yeah,
so
when you click the share button, Andy, you'll see at the top right corner it says include sound. There's a little button.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay,
yeah.
Let's do it. You've got to hear it with sound, don't you think?
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to get across. Go.
I don't know whether you.
Yeah, you can hear that, Andy.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Good. Okay, that's it. That's my lot. I hope all of you like. Well, actually, I don't need to turn that off, do I? Let's just go. Stop sharing the screen and go back to viewing you all.
You are sharing the screen again, Andy.
Yep, you're still sharing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to turn it off.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to work out where to switch. Oh, there it is. There we go. Good.
Elmar, anything to add? I know it's only been a week, but
not right now. But
yeah. Obviously, guys, I suppose the key obviously throughout the year we couldn't talk about it. So say you did what, bud?
I said I'm blown away by your.
You're good.
Yeah.
Well, considering when you think I've not done that ever, and Juice, and me, we got the plugin. All of us got the plugin really only at beginning of last week, Tuesday, something like that. I can't remember what day. So we haven't had it very, very long at all. And I think Juice basically talked me through the program. I had, talked me through the weight brushing again to remind me how to do it. And then I'd rigged that within the first few hours of use, and then done the animation. The animation I did actually over several days, but it was basically about 3 hours, 3.5 hours of animation in total. But I honestly, anybody who's got a lot more experience of rigging is going to be able to take that a lot further. And obviously, we're going to do many more complicated rigs than that. But I've got to say, just from the past experience of using rigs in Lightwave, Maya, and in Messiah, it is an absolute pleasure to use that one. And I think Craig has done such an outstanding job of letting us have that, which is amazingly kind, and but also updating it as he's done. I think is fantastic, and we owe him a huge debt. I mean, just one last thing on why I'm so pleased about what Craig did. We looked at seeing whether we could buy Messiah at one point. And Messiah's great, but it meant a massive amount of work to try to get that into Lightwave, and obviously then you've got the problem of do you then just do it as a separate system, but then you can't interact with your scenes as well, and that's a lot of rubbish. I mean, almost everything we're trying to do here is about making the animator's life easier inside Lightwave. We don't want you to go and have to take your scenes out to add flames, or go out of the scenes to add water, or out of there to do your character animation. We want you to be able to do everything in the core program itself. And over this next I mean, obviously this is we're just over the first year, but over the next few years we not only will improve the interface, we'll improve the speed of the modeler, the layout. We're going to take things significantly further. We're just about to start doing a lot of big modeler updates. I think that's probably going to be the focus for the next year, will be that. We're doing some amazing things with the render engine, getting that to be significantly quicker and better. We've already, in this upgrade we're about to do, I can't give a percentage to it, but we've increased the speed of the interface for animation significantly. I mean, I can probably safely say over 20%, 30% quicker, but it feels huge, sort of the speed of updates you've now got in there. And that's obviously not going to be for every function. Some functions aren't using those bits, but it's just feeling unbelievably good to animate with. And I think with things like the geo nodes, obviously we're working on the presets now for things like tendril and lightning and those sort of things. We'll be adding those to try to again make your life significantly easier to have those things. Part of the reason I'm just giving a little overview of it, because obviously next week is the national holiday of the Deuce, and so we won't be demoing it next week, but the week after we will. I mean, I would imagine it might end up being what I by accident showed and had to get Father Deuce to forgive my sins for, but hopefully we'll show something like that in 2 weeks' time. And by the way, that has been something, if any of you may have seen something on the screen there, it's been things that we've been had requested for a very long time, ever since we bought it or before we bought it, and they're things that start adding a little bits of the power of things like Modo and those sort of things, giving you the capability to adjust bits that we may show in 2 weeks' time. So those sort of things we're obviously going to be adding. So I think that's pretty much it. That's how long's that demo been? That's been pretty much an hour, right?
We're right at an hour. Yeah, even though we
exactly an hour.
Yep.
And I'm good with that.
I kept it to within time, which is a miracle, frankly. And
well, even with the screen hangs and hiccups and things.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I apologize, by the way. It's my internet round here is not normally quite that bad, but it's been really bad for 2 weeks. So I'm sorry if some of you didn't get to see all of it. I have done a demo video duplicating what I just did. I haven't tried to make it any more fancy. It's exactly as that demo is that we'll put up for you to have a look at. Obviously, we will get a proper tutorial done by a grown-up at some stage, because you really don't want me to do it. But we'll get someone who doesn't put poo poo on the screen. That's what I'm going to suggest. So so what a child, what an absolute child. Anyway, another request, actually, last thing I just want to say is, if any of you have wanted to character animate before, and some of you have character animated, and if you could, I'd really be grateful if you could take that sugar cube and maybe animate something fantastic. I mean, I think maybe we could do a little competition at some stage with the sugar cube, who could do the best animation, but it would just be lovely to see what could be done with them. So, and we'll use them as well, by the way. I mean, we'd use them as gags for the front of you know, people's show reels or demo videos, whatever the case may be. So that's it.
See what shenanigans you can get up to.
We'll even provide the sugar cube poo.
Yeah, see what shenanigans your sugar cube can do.
we'll supply the sugar cube poo in a little bag, in a little poopy bag. No, we'll lucky we haven't got smell-o-vision. Anyway,
we have hit the wall.
Are there any questions before we go? Are there anybody got questions?
Last thing on the pricing, Andy, just so everyone.
Oh yeah, I'll do pricing again.
48 hours. 48 hours.
48 hours for the pre-order. I mean, guys, I have to say, this for me is probably more impressive than the last update. So I think this is a good update, this one. So if you guys, hopefully you'll all agree. So anyway, 48 hours before that pricing goes up. So, you know, if any of you want to get it soon, it will just take a little bit of the price off, which would be good. So are there any questions? Anybody got anything they want to ask? Are you happy, I suppose, is one of the biggest ones. Are you pleased with what you've seen?
I have seen a lot of positive. Lewis, Storvat, contact me. I'll get you the information. I think everyone seems to be quite happy. I've already seen that a couple of sales have come in, and I noticed that there were questions about motion capture retargeting.
What does that?
You know, facial rig, things of this nature.
Oh.
So,
can I just mention something?
I don't know. I don't know.
Have we ever? This is the right book, right? The small one. Let me just check this. We've got, what is that face system that we've got? It's unbelievable. Is it remesher?
Oh yes, but that's not for animation. No.
For getting the placement around the face.
Yeah.
It's fantastic for that, isn't it? So if you're doing heavy character animation, we've got a tool.
Able to rework the mesh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got one of the other questions that I see, and I'm torn on my particular sense of it. The question of having Genoma still, since we now have Rigit. I can see keeping it. I mean, I don't see necessarily that we need to throw it away. It still has some functionality. There's some certain things that you can still do with Genoma. But I mean, as far as character rig and character animation, I think people are going to use Rigit more than that. So I wouldn't say that we would throw away Genoma. I think we'd keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the one key thing is obviously Genoma is slower to do this kind of stuff. So I think you're right. You wouldn't want to, you wouldn't want to take something out that might hurt something that some of you have done in previous iterations of Lightwave, right? So I think where possible, we'll try to keep most of those things. But as we go forward, if something is slowing us down because it's in the way, then we might have to look at it then.
Sure.
Yeah. But I certainly think. I mean, it's, even as a transition, if some of you are very familiar with Genoma, it's going to take you, a little while to maybe transfer over to Rigit. I estimate about 3 hours. I'm only saying that because that's what it took me. So, but I would say, hopefully you'll start getting into using it and messing with it and love it, and then start doing all your new stuff that way. But no, our aim is not to sort of disadvantage anybody. I think it's always to try to support everybody as much as we can. But there are obviously things we need to start thinking about, modernizing the interface a little bit. Maybe looking at colors and things like a color range to unify different groups of things that are similar throughout the package. I mean, there's so many things that we've got to start thinking about and talking about for the next stage. So
Sure.
so obviously, this is a biggie, but I think we're obviously animators, and at the end of the day, we love animation and creating effects and doing cool bits. So this is about us wanting very much to only enhance Lightwave and only put the things in it that we absolutely love to use and that we see that will benefit everybody in the most positive way. So I think all of us agree with that principle. So any more questions?
I think it's degenerating, so I think we're to our point. I think we're there.
Okay, good. All right,
guys, it was great having you. I think that a lot of people have said that they kind of like this weekly thing. They kind of like the whole get together and show things. So we'll see how we can't, keep it going for a bit, and maybe it changes concept after release or something. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, also, I think one of the things we're talking about doing is one of the sessions we'll do an open chat and something like that. But that might be after we do the release. But I think something whereby we talk about where we're going and stuff. But yeah, we will continue the weekly things. I mean, they're fun to do. If for no other reason than me having to beg forgiveness and you getting to see it on a regular basis. So it's all right, guys, and that's it. I think we're good to go. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all love regular, obviously, when it comes out. And have a great rest of the weekend, guys. Bye, guys.
See you.
See you, guys.